Hello, 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 everyone, and happy Financially Lit Tuesday. Welcome back. Live every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m., bringing you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. For those of you tuned in, go ahead and drop a comment in the comment section so I know who's tuned in with me. Good job, hey, whatever the case may be. Also, if you're tuned in from the Sipping Wealth YouTube channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any Financial Lit Tuesdays and the notification bell as well. So hopefully you all had an awesome, amazing holiday. So this past weekend with the Christmas, and those of you that are celebrating Kwanzaa, hopefully it's going well so far. I know everyone's looking forward to the new year, or hopefully you're looking forward to the new year because why not? It's new opportunities. So I hope you all have an exciting and prosperous new year as it kicks off this at the end of this week. So for tonight's live, I'm going to be talking about goal setting for 2022. So we all know how important it is to have your goals outlined. But one thing I do want to mention is to make sure that you're writing these things down as well, because it's one thing to think, okay, I want to make sure that I save $10,000. And then it's another thing to write down, hey, I want to save $10,000 in 2022. And this is how I'm going to go about doing so. So tonight's live is about creating a plan and figuring out the best ways to go ahead and do so. So um, one of the of course, in wealthing up, making sure our money's right. So let's establish some ground rules and all that good stuff to making sure we have the right goal setting. So I'm gonna give you some examples to keep in mind as far as, hey Arthur, happy New Year. Happy almost New Year. I know we're going to be saying Happy New Year like this whole week. So, for example, as far as goal setting, if your goal is, hey, I want to save money and you want to save $10,000 next year, right? So that's about $192 a week. So now okay, if I do $50 week one, $80 week two, $100 week three, 250 week four, and kind of set that up. Now hey, by the end of the year, I should have my $10,000 goal. But now you have actual step by step attainable, like you have a big goal, and then you have a step by step plan of how to accomplish it, right? Maybe it's $500 in 2 months, right? And that's $10 a day. Well, roughly about $10 a day, right? So if you're like, hey, maybe I get paid bi-weekly, so every check I save about 70 to about $100, and then now I know by month two, by the end of month two, I've saved, hey, my $500 goal. Just create that big goal, and then the plan on how to accomplish it. So there's tons of different budgeting challenges, breakdowns available if you have to like do baby steps, whatever the case may be, as far as what your budget's going to look like. When accomplishing your financial goals, you all know, like I say every week, make sure that you have a budget in place, because this is going to help you stay on track and make sure that you're hitting those monetary goals. Because with those monetary goals, you're able to live that financially free life, right? That life of you. Maybe you're like, hey, I want to make sure that I travel next year. So making sure that you hit those goals when it comes to the financials can give you the opportunity to go ahead and make that trip, right? To go ahead and spend a week in the islands, or across the waters, and whatever the case may be. So you can draw up a basic budget by just writing out your incomes from all sources. So your 9 to 5, if you have one, any side hustles you have, maybe someone gives you $100 a month, add that in there, right? So that's going to be your income bucket. And then you're going to go ahead and list out all your expenses. So for your expenses, whether it's rent or your mortgage, utilities, maybe your cell phone bill, insurance, subscriptions, whatever the case may be, you want to go ahead and list out those expenses as well. And then you're gonna go ahead and take a look at those bank statements. That's gonna really help you narrow down. Okay, what am I actually spending on every month? Because a lot of times, you sign up for a subscription and you don't really think about, oh my gosh, I still have the subscription. Yes, you do, and they're still taking money out, right? So maybe you have subscriptions that you need to cancel that you've been paying on and you haven't even paid, but you haven't been paying attention to. So you definitely want to look at those. So I review your last 3 months bank statements and look at your financials more in depth so that hey, I don't need all this junk. Let me narrow down my expenses to the necessary, and then create a bucket of money so that I can have for my miscellaneous, an allowance. So okay, I know that for each check that I receive, I'm gonna put $100 for an allowance, whatever the case may be, whatever you can afford. Go ahead and outline your budget for that. Another common goal that people have is like, hey, I want to buy a car or I want to buy a house. So if that's one of your goals, there's a couple of things to know about the 2022 market for purchases like this. Of course, you all know a lot that's been happening with the housing industry and the shortages and things like that. But the auto industry is also is still having a global semiconductor shortage as well. So they have a huge shortage in the chip that they basically put into the vehicles. So, and that's making vehicles a lot more expensive, but it's also making, like, maybe if you're looking to trade in, the trading value could be a lot higher, but you also have to purchase a more expensive car. So it kind of cancels itself out a little bit. But yeah, so inventory is short on those chips. So it's taking a huge hit on the auto industry. So for 2022, cars are not going to be like it was this year or even in 2020, right? So it's going to be higher prices, a lower availability. Same thing kind of with the housing market. There's no chip, but there is oversaturation as far as the amount of buyers in the housing market right now. So there's a lot of people that are looking to purchase houses. It's very competitive. So knowing this, hey, I need to make sure that I have my credit together. So if credit is an issue for you, make sure that you get connected so that you can get the credit issues resolved. Pay down your balances. Make sure that, hey, when you go to file your taxes, that you're actually taking into account, hey, I want to make sure that I can qualify for that house. I want to make sure that I can qualify for that large loan that I'm going to need. So you do want to make sure that you put that in consideration when you file your taxes as well. So huge, huge, huge. Also, if y'all have any questions while I'm speaking, feel free to drop it in the comment section. So with these parameters in mind, you can definitely understand like where that you need to compromise or what different things that you need to do so that you're in the right position to purchase these assets or even get some loans or fundings or new, like the vehicle, for example. Yes. So some things to keep in mind if you're a person that is looking to purchase a home. Some documents. Of course, you want to reach out to a loan originator, or even if it's a knowledgeable realtor, they will know as well. But one of the huge things is that they want to know your credit worthiness. So they want to know that if they loan you money, that they're going to receive the money back. So when doing so, they look at your last 2 years for your tax returns, more or less your business income, profit and loss that you're purchasing using your business income, or if you're even purchasing using the business. So that is something that they're going to want to look at So depending on what your entity structure is. So if you have an S corp or you have a disregarded LLC, then it's going to differentiate as far as what documents they're going to need from you. Your wages, your pay stubs, proof of income, and some other documents as well. But basically, they want to know that you can actually afford it. So they're not just going to hand it to you and say, "Okay, we hope we get our money back." We want to know that they can pay us back. Another pointer is also if you all are behind on your taxes. So you definitely, if you're behind, if you haven't filed 2018 tax return, you want to make sure you get that filed before March, because after March, you won't be able to go ahead and get it, to go ahead and make those changes. So you want to go ahead and get that done ASAP. And then you'll just be able to do 2019, 2020, and 2021. So that window is short. So if you haven't done 2018 yet, go ahead and do that. And you're expecting a refund, and then go ahead and do it. Now you can still file those returns, mail those in, but you can't get any refunds, and you can't make any amendments if you're looking to amend like a 2018 return. So make sure that you're doing that ASAP. If you need assistance with it, go ahead and schedule a time to speak with us at Grand Rapids Financial. All right. If you are self-employed, a business owner, I would highly suggest that you go ahead and book an appointment, especially right now, because Grand Rev, we are having our end of year 50% off, up to 50% off on our services. So this is the time to go ahead and take advantage of it. If you're like, hey, I need to get bookkeeping going for my business. If you're like, hey, I need to make sure I set up strategy strategy sessions or consultations on a quarterly or monthly basis with an accountant, go ahead and do that now and take advantage of those pricings, especially because the pricing changes will be in effect for 2022. So we won't see these awesome 2021 pricing anymore, but so it will be different. And also the softwares that we're utilizing are changing their pricing structure as well. So we're just, taking a pivot. So this is the last opportunity, like I said, to take advantage of that pricing shift for those of you that need an accountant or even need your prior year returns or things like that, or estimated tax payments, sales tax. It's a variety of different accounting services that you can take advantage of. And that's at the up to 50% off. So, all right. If you take one thing to keep in mind for those of you that are like, hey, I want to make sure I write these things off. I want to need to write off these expenses and whatever the case may be, fill your Schedule C's. And a lot of tax preparers that don't know tax law, they will just put a Schedule C on a tax return, put a bunch of expenses, and that's it, right? But you have to be you have to really look at what your goals are for the year or for the next couple of years when you are filing a tax return. There is a strategy to it, right? You don't just go there and you're like, yeah, I'm here to file my taxes. So if you're actually looking to maximize your returns and actually decrease your tax liabilities overall, there is strategy that goes into it. So how do these large businesses and corporations, hey, Arthur, he said, yes, right. How do these large companies and corporations, Jeff Bezos and Amazon and Elon Musk and all these large businesses go without paying these taxes? I know Elon said Elon's going to be paying taxes this year, but in the past, Trump, whatever the case may be, is because they have a tax strategy. So you have to make sure that you have a strategy going into the year, because throughout the year, you're constantly doing things that helps with decreasing the tax liability. You don't wait until it's time to file your tax return and go, okay, now I'm ready to decrease my liabilities, right? Yes, I'm going to fight for you, and I'm going to do all I can to make sure I decrease those liabilities. But where you're going to get the best bang for your buck, where you're going to actually make sure that you're really getting the Trump special, I like to call it, as far as tax is really making sure that you have the right strategy when it comes to taxes. And in doing that, take advantage of, like I said, up to 50% off. Right now, the tax strategy is 50% off up until literally Friday. So just a couple of days to take advantage of that. But up until the new year, but we do have a variety of different services that are discounted right now. If you're an S corp or you're like, hey, I want to be considered for an S corp, have a schedule a strategy session with us, because a lot of people feel like that once I jump to an S corp, I'm gonna save thousands in taxes. It's the holy mecca. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna be rich, and that's not necessarily the case. S corp or C corp maybe not. Maybe is not the right entity structure for you to get into right now. So definitely making sure that you're making the right move at the right time is necessary, because you can jump into an S corp, have to pay all this money to manage it, and you're not ready for it. So, or your company doesn't even call to be considered an S corp, right? So definitely make sure you're scheduling a session if you need some clarification on if it applies to you. But like I said, a lot of times, at least a minimum of 2 years and taxes are required for quite a bit of funding. If you're looking for business funding, or you're looking to really um, take advantage of different loans and credit opportunities and things like that with your business, then you want to make sure that you have financial records and um, and taxes as well for your company. So the more the better. So the more years and months and things like that you have under your belt as far as financial history for your business, the better. Because it's gonna just open you up for a lot more grants and loans and funding opportunities. So I know that's a huge thing for a lot of people, just being able to get more funding so that they can move their business to the next level. So practicing good financial practices in your business will not only help you get there where you can acquire these fundings, but actually help you with managing the funds that you receive. Because a lot of times these your business maybe get a lot of businesses that get funding, like all the money that just was giving for PPP and EDIL and COVID this and pandemic, all this funding. And these businesses are back in the hole that they were in before, because you don't have the right financial practices, right? So you don't have a savings bucket that you can run to if the company's on the slow season, right? So making sure you have those different things in place, so that, hey, even though it's a slow season, we have a bucket that we can pull from, so that we can keep the business moving. So because every business has its seasons, their influxes. It's just knowing your industry, right? So I'm just giving you an example. And also, even in your high peak, knowing how to manage those funds as well, so that you are not in a situation where you're stuck, and now you're reaching out to an accountant to bail you out, but you don't have money to pay for one to actually be able to move you to the next level. Bookkeeping is heavy. If you're not doing it, if you're a business owner and you're not doing it yet, make sure that you are. It is a huge component of business and helping you stay in business, because if you don't know your numbers, then your money's doing whatever it wants, and it's 9 out of 10 is leaving. It's doing whatever it wants. It's running these streets, and then it's gonna leave you poor and broke. So make sure that you are doing your bookkeeping. You're looking at your financial reports. You're staying on top of it. You're outlining your goals um, based on your financial reports. If your basic finances are right, then you'll be able to put that into your personal life as well, get that structured, but also make sure that, hey, your state, your federal taxes, your sales tax are up to date, all that. It just makes the process a lot more fluid when it comes to just managing the business financials overall. Once the financials are handled, it just makes it a lot more smoother, so that you can take care of the operations and help other people maybe with your products, your services, whatever the case may be. For loans, the SBA website has a bunch of different opportunities as far as loans and different funding. So it's sba.gov. And then a lot of big cities have an SBA department anyway. So you can go ahead and reach out to them, but go ahead and go to the website and check out their approved loans on their website. For grants, there are tons of grants on grants.gov. You literally get your DUNS number. If you go to sam.gov, you can register for sam.gov, get all your information, get qualified through SAMS as a minority business, woman-owned business, veteran, whatever the case may be. Fill out all that good paperwork. Go to grants.gov and look at different grant opportunities because the list is wild. And then FedEx does the small business owner grant every year, and they have quite a few of them as well. There's just so many funding opportunities as well. So hopefully that helps you all with planning out your finances and hitting your goals for next year. We are having our one-day intensive tax workshop coming up on January 8th. So about a week and a half from now. We are the discount code for 20% off is still active. So it's Wealth Up. So for those of you wanting to take advantage of it or know someone that wants to take advantage of it, now is the time to do it. Also, like I said, our year-end sale, that's up to 50% off on our end-of-year services. So definitely make sure that you're taking advantage of that. And also, I'll make sure that you are getting in touch with us ahead of time before the tax season begins. So yeah, you can get your tax checklist so you can know all the documents that you need to bring to the table and take advantage of maximizing your refund this year or decreasing your tax liability this year. So you all, the link is right here on the screen. So go ahead and book a call if you're interested in anything that I mentioned here today. And I will see you all next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. in the brand new year. So we're going to have a financially lit year. So next Tuesday is going to be like super lit, right? So make sure you're all tuned in next Tuesday for another episode of Financially Lit Tuesday, bringing you news, tips, and tricks on how to wealth up. And have a wonderful, amazing Lit Tuesday, y'all.